Welcome to this explainer. Let's jump right into the content today because we're exploring a truly timeless story called The Power of Faith. Allah is watching. It's a narrative that really digs into the profound weight of our everyday choices, especially, in those super quiet moments when we think we're entirely alone and nobody is looking.
So, picture this. Imagine you're just walking down the street and you stumble across your absolute favorite treats. We're talking candies, chips, whatever your favorite is, and they are completely unguarded. The shopkeeper is nowhere to be found, literally not a single soul is around to see you. What choice are you going to make? Do you take just one and maybe promise yourself you'll pay later? Or do you walk away? Well, this is the exact, incredibly relatable dilemma presented in our source material today, and the way it's handled is absolutely fascinating.
Okay, let's set the scene exactly as the source describes it. It's this beautiful, calm evening. The sun is softly setting right behind the village fields. You've got those dusty streets echoing with the cheerful sounds of kids playing, and the time for the Maghrib prayer is creeping up pretty quickly. And this is where we meet our two main figures. We have Abdullah, whose face is deep in thought, and Khalid, who definitely has a little hint of mischief in his eyes. They're just walking home together from the madrasa, both of them holding the Quran tightly against their chests. As they're walking and talking, they roll up to this small village shop, and it is just bursting with colorful candies, sweet biscuits, chips, basically an absolute feast for the eyes of any kid. But there's a pretty big catch here. The shopkeeper is completely missing. The street right in front of the shop is totally empty, so it's literally just Abdallah, Khalid, and a whole lot of unguarded temptation just staring right back at them in the fading light. Now this perfectly illustrates a core human dilemma. First, you've got Khalid's mindset, right? His eyes lock onto those candies, and he leans in and whispers to his friend, "Hey, let's just take a candy and pay later. No one is looking, there's no adults around." It's such an easy, natural rationalization to make. But Abdullah? He stands totally firm. He gently replies, "No, Khalid, this is wrong. We hold the Quran in our hands and all eyes watching." Khalid pushes back a bit, trying to argue that, come on, it's just one single candy. He's really trying to minimize the act. But Abdullah counters with this incredibly powerful reminder, Allah is watching every moment. Whether it's one candy or 100, wrong is wrong. Plus, holding that physical Quran really amplifies their responsibility here. The source describes it as acting like a physical anchor against the devil's whispers, that sudden heavy feeling of temptation that's desperately trying to sneak its way into Khalid's heart. The tension really peaks right here. Khalid's hand is physically reaching out for the candy. He is literally right about to do it. Then, suddenly, a gentle wind blows and rustles the shop's curtains. And in that exact critical split second, the azan, the call to prayer, sounds from the distant mosque, loud and clear. Allahu Akbar. Between hearing Abdullah's firm words and that commanding call to prayer, Khalid feels this sudden, profound sense that someone actually is watching him. Instantly, his hand snaps back. The spell of temptation is completely broken. So the two friends decide to just leave the unguarded shop behind without taking a single thing, and they head straight to the mosque to pray. And the source notes that stepping into the mosque brings this incredible absolute peace. After finishing their prayers, that heavy, suffocating temptation that was weighing Khalid down lifts completely. His heart feels remarkably light. It's that profound, undeniable relief of knowing, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you made the right choice to walk away when it actually mattered most.
And you know what? Doing the right thing actually pays off in the physical world too. After wrapping up their peaceful prayer, they head back past the exact same village shop on their way home. But this time, the shopkeeper has actually returned to his post. So Khalid just reaches into his pocket, pulls out his money, and pays honestly for the candy he wanted in the first place.
Upon taking the money, the shopkeeper smiles warmly at the boys and shares this really profound realization. He says, "He who fears Allah, Allah never puts him at a loss." Pure honesty doesn't just keep you out of trouble, right? It brings an immediate spiritual reward. The boys walk home through those evening streets with massive smiles on their faces, totally cementing their belief that whether their hands are physically holding the Quran or not, God is always watching and guiding them to the right path.
All right, so the crucial takeaways from this story are super clear. First, Allah is everywhere, at every time. Second, and honestly this is the vital one to remember, stopping yourself from doing wrong when you are entirely alone, that is the ultimate sign of Iman, or true faith. Third, temptation and the devil's whispers are very, very real, but steadfast faith and guidance are what help you succeed. And finally, choosing to do the right thing inherently brings blessings and peace right back into your life.
So, I'm going to leave you with a question to really chew on. Next time you are entirely alone, when nobody is watching, no cameras are rolling, and you're faced with a sudden moment of temptation, what choice are you going to make? Will you give in to that little whisper of, just this once, or will you remember the lesson of Abdullah and Khalid? This explainer is a great reminder that our true character is really forged in those quiet, unseen moments. Because ultimately, someone is always watching. Keep that timeless lesson with you, and until next time, stay curious and keep learning.